I hope by God's grace I'm a kind of a good dad. And if you think you're a great dad, ask your kids and then they'll correct that, okay? And as our kids get older, I always got to look at them and say, where have I failed? What do I need to own? How do I apologize? What did I blow? What did I miss? I do love you. I'm sure I made some mistakes. I'm sure I did. And I know some that I'm aware of, and there's others that I may not even be aware of. The good dad is not perfect, but he's present. The good dad doesn't get it all right, but he wants to. And the good dad says things like, I'm sorry. That's my burden, not yours. What can I give? How can I help? How can I bless? How can I add value to your life, not take energy from your life? That ultimately, we all have varying kinds and degrees of father wounds. Now, a father wound is an unhealed hurt from a physical, spiritual, or other father. What a father wound does, it opens you up to an orphan spirit. Jesus says it this way in John 14:8, I will not leave you as orphans. If you have a father wound, you have an orphan spirit. An orphan spirit is one of two things. You either feel lonely or needy. Lonely, you can be in a crowd, you can be loved, but something in you just feels like you're always out, not in. Or needy. Some of you are gathering people because you need a family. You've got a wound. And you're trying to just create a family. And it's out of a woundedness. It's not a healthy place, it's a broken place. That's an orphan spirit. And then number 3, what happens is a father wound on earth blocks your view of your Father in heaven. Your Father in heaven is very large, but your Father on earth is very near. And if the father wound is in front of you, it obstructs and blocks your view. It creates a soul equivalent of an eclipse, the inability to see your Heavenly Father. What happens out of this are entire philosophical and religious ideologies. I'll give them to you. Let me say this. What I'm sharing with you is out of 25 years of Bible teaching. I was 19 years of age. I was walking in the woods. God spoke to me audibly. I didn't even know he did that. He said, Mary Grace, preach the Bible, train men, and plant churches. That's what I've been doing since I was 19. God spoke something else over my life that day. It was a prophetic word that I don't know if I've ever shared publicly, but he said, I've called you out from among many to lead men. The first half of my ministry, I did that as a big brother. This half of my ministry, I do it as a big father. That's my hope and prayer and goal. Not to be a big brother, but to be a father. There was a prophecy over me before we started the Trinity Church from somebody who didn't even know me in a pastor's conference of 4,000. And he said, stand up, I have a word. I was like, oh gosh, I don't like words from strangers in stadiums. I'm not a big fan. And he said, you ministered as a brother, you're going to take a break, you're going to come back, and you're going to minister as a father. That's the season I'm entering into. I believe that this is the beginning of fulfillment of that prophetic ministry. And the way I see things is from the perspective of a father. And here's what I see. Atheism says, I have no father. It's a father wound. Agnosticism says, I may or may not have a father, but I'm not looking for him. He's not looking for me. I don't need to know him. I don't care. That's a father wound. Deism says, well, I have a dad. He's far away. He's not involved in my life. He doesn't care about me. That's a father wound. Deism is a father wound. It's like the dad who walked out when you were little. You feel like God is like that. Because I'll tell you what, oftentimes our view of God, it's either a projection or a rejection of our view of our earthly father, extrapolated out to the heavenly Father. Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world at current rates because their fathers are having children and Christian fathers are not. It'll be the largest religion on earth by 2050. Their view of father is that he's cruel. He's mean. He works through imposition, not proposition. He's a bully. That's a father wound. And you know what's interesting is that men tend to father out of their view of God the Father. If you think God is a bully, you're not going to be a good dad. Liberals tend to see God as a permissive dad. He buys my beer, lets me smoke weed, make my own decisions. And what he is, he's more like the idiot big brother. Some of you had a dad like that. He acted like the idiot big brother, not the wise father. He enabled you, he didn't lead you. That's the view of liberal, progressive, red letter Christianity. In addition, there is feminism, which says, we've been so hurt by men, we're just going to worship God as mother. That's a deep and profound father wound.